1898, Wilmington, North Carolina wasn't just another southern city. It was the most prosperous black community in America. Black-owned banks, black doctors, black lawyers, black politicians. And here's what terrified white supremacists the most. Black men held real political power. They were aldermen, magistrates, police officers. They even owned a newspaper, the Daily Record, run by Alex Manly, a black editor who wasn't afraid to speak truth. But in smoke-filled rooms across North Carolina, white supremacists were planning something unprecedented. They called it the White Supremacy Campaign. Their message was simple and terrifying. Take back power, by any means necessary. Then in August 1898, Alex Manly made a fatal mistake. He wrote an editorial. He challenged the lie that black men were dangerous to white women. He wrote that some relationships were consensual, that some white women chose black men. White supremacists exploded with rage. This black man had crossed the ultimate line. They would make an example of Wilmington, of Manly, of every black person who dared to dream of equality. November 8th, Election Day. White supremacists won through intimidation and fraud. But winning the election wasn't enough for them. 2 days later, they gathered, armed, organized, ready. They came for the newspaper.
November 10th, 9 a.m. 2,000 armed white men gathered at the Wilmington Light Infantry Armory. This wasn't just a mob. These were businessmen, lawyers, the city's finest citizens, led by Alfred Moore Waddell, a former congressman. Their first target? Alex Manly's newspaper, the Daily Record. Alex Manly had fled the city the night before. He knew what was coming. They burned the Daily Record to the ground, the symbol of black achievement, reduced to ash. But they didn't stop there. They marched into Brooklyn, Wilmington's thriving black neighborhood. Hunting. Some black residents fought back. They had the right to defend their homes, didn't they? That's when the massacre began. White supremacists hunted down black leaders, business owners, anyone who dared to succeed. Hundreds of black families fled into the freezing November swamps, hiding, praying they wouldn't be found. Then the mob did something that had never happened in America. They marched to City Hall. At gunpoint, they forced the legally elected mayor and aldermen to resign. White and black officials, anyone who wasn't part of their plan. Alfred Waddell installed himself as mayor, America's first and only successful coup d'etat. Over the next days, they rounded up prominent black citizens and white allies. Businessmen, preachers, professionals, given a choice, leave Wilmington forever or be killed. They were banished from the city they helped build. Forever. But how many died?
The official death count? 25. That's what they wrote in the history books. The truth? Possibly 300, maybe more. Bodies were dumped in the Cape Fear River, buried in unmarked graves. No one bothered to count black bodies. They were erased, like they never existed. The coup succeeded completely. White supremacists took total control of Wilmington. They rewrote election laws, passed grandfather clauses, poll taxes, literacy tests. Black voting in North Carolina collapsed from 125,000 to just 6,000 in 2 years. Then they did something even more insidious. They rewrote history itself. In newspapers and textbooks, they called it a race riot. They claimed black people started it, that white men were just restoring order. For over 100 years, this was the official story taught in North Carolina schools. It wasn't until the 1990s that researchers finally uncovered the full truth. Descendants of survivors finally broke their silence, shared the stories passed down in whispers. In 2006, 108 years later, North Carolina officially apologized for the massacre and coup, but the damage was permanent. An entire generation of black wealth, black power, black progress, destroyed in a single day. Wilmington's black community never recovered. The blueprint was set. What happened in Wilmington became the model. Across the South, white supremacists used violence and fraud to overthrow Reconstruction governments. And here's the most disturbing part. Most Americans still don't know this happened. A successful coup, on American soil, democracy overthrown at gunpoint. The massacre they tried to erase from history.